The FemBioBiz Acceleration Program is back for Season 2, and the search is on for female innovators to stake their claim for $250,000 worth of prizes. For this episode, we are in Zimbabwe, which is now being driven by a generation who seek to empower national economic development by assisting entrepreneurs to provide innovative solutions to the nation's health and nutrition challenges. Phase 2 of the FemBioBiz competition in Zimbabwe saw 6 entrepreneurs and 5 students pitch their innovative ideas to our selection panel. Only 4 of the presentations will be selected for the final phase of the competition to be staged at the SA Innovation Summit. Here to test the strengths and weaknesses of their presentations is our judging panel consisting of 4 industry professionals. ZB Financial Holdings Group Financial Director Fanuel Kapanje, who is a chartered accountant by profession and a member of the Chartered Accountants of Zimbabwe. Professor Maud Muchweti is the Executive Dean of the Science Faculty at the University of Zimbabwe. She was instrumental in setting up the Science Innovation Center. Marnix van Holland, who is the Program Development Manager for HEVOS Foundation, aims to contribute to the entrepreneurship ecosystem with the view of seeing a transformed society. And Rumbidzai Mlambo, a patent and intellectual property specialist and founder of Tech Women Zimbabwe, and the recipient of the STEM 2014 award. The competition was close, with some very innovative products being pitched by our Zimbabwean entrepreneurs. Well done to those who made it through to Phase 2 of the FemBioBiz Acceleration Program. Please welcome Sicelo Dube, owner of LEC Biotech and president of the Zimbabwe Science Laboratory Technicians Association. She plans on bringing her new innovations on locally produced reagents and enzymes to market. How will our panel react to her ideas?
LEC Biotech supplies laboratory equipment, chemicals and consumables to educational institutions, medical labs, food and beverage labs, pharmaceutical labs, just to mention a few. Globally, research shows that the enzyme and molecular reagents market will grow to up to 6.3 billion by 2020. Working with a team of innovative scientists and experts in the field, we have managed to prototype and have 5 molecular reagents that we are going to be bringing to the market. We are also bioprospecting for novel enzymes, which we can bring to our clients. With an amount of $60,000 seed capital, we are able to further research and development, buy specialized equipment, co-create these enzymes with our experts and clients to meet their needs. With a loan of $40,000, we are able to perfect these 5 molecular reagents that we've already started with, such that we can penetrate the local market.
Thanks for your presentation. You were talking about 150,000 revenue. How much profit, or are you already making profit?
We are making profit currently, but our profit margins are not as much because of importing. According to the last year's revenues, our profit was 32,000.
The market currently, most of the people that you're targeting are probably tied to a supplier already. What is going to be the key advantage when you come onto the market with your molecular reagents and your enzymes?
Okay, first of all, we are pushing the women empowerment agenda. As a woman owner of a company, I'm going to push that so that they at least listen, for starters. Secondly, we are pushing an import substitution drive. Half the time when you go to these companies, they are buying from outside. They are buying from as far as the United States. And we are saying, if we can come to you with our team of innovative scientists, co-create the product together, such that it meets your needs, tailor-making it to your advantage, would you say no at a cheaper price?
Okay. Presumably you've already canvassed the market and maybe tentative arrangements for deals going forward are in place?
Yes, we have tried. For example, the National Pharmaceuticals Group for Zimbabwe, they are procuring for over 200 hospitals, medical labs, in molecular equipment. And recently they've approached us for a tender that we're working with Inqaba for. So we are pushing it for Inqaba to supply more than 200 medical hospital labs with molecular reagents. And from that big tender, we're only going to get a little percentage. But these are things that we could surely make with our experts in the field.
Will our investors share Sicele's vision and insights by assisting her and other entrepreneurs in problem solving?
I believe the key in science entrepreneurship is problem solving. Identify real problems that are being faced by people and use science or biosciences to solve those problems. You will have a ready market and you'll have people who have the same passion and who are passionate about that problem and solving it, and you have a ready market. So I believe that the focus of any science entrepreneur should be problem solving.
Our next presenter is Tendai Kukuta, who aims to develop an advanced vegetative propagation technology of sweet potatoes from plant tissue culture via a hydroponics system. Will the panel understand her scientific proposal?
Auspice rises to these challenges of humanity through the intensive production of vitamin A-enriched orange sweet potatoes, together with tilapia fish, which is high in omega-3 fatty acids. Auspice will be targeting a market of 940 sweet potato farmers in the country, and also will be promoted by the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, FAO. I seek an investment of $16,000 to get a 64 square meter greenhouse, a pond, as well as the hydroponic setup, which is digitized. The money bringer of this whole project will be the sweet potato tubers, which I will be producing 40 tons of. I will not only be focusing on these products. My strategy as a company will be to diversify into other products such as soups, relish mixes, sweet potato purees, among other products.
I understand you're looking for 16,000. Is it for 16,000 to start? And can you explain a little bit about the returns?
Okay, so I have 3 products in the first year, which are sweet potato tubers, vines, and fish. So for the sweet potato tubers, they'll be bringing most of the money, and they'll be sold at 70 cents per kg. And I'll be producing 40 tons, which is just a drop in the ocean compared to what the greater part of Zimbabwe produces. And then the second product will be the fish. Fish, I'll have 6,000 fish, and they'll be sold at $2.70 per kg. And then the last product will be the tissue culture plantlets, sold at 7 cents versus the competitor prices of up to sometimes 20 cents because they're derived from plant tissue culture. And I will be producing 270,000 of these. That will be for 8 hectares only.
Tendai, in terms of your canvas of the market, who then becomes your key competitor, particularly when you're looking at the tissue culture?
Okay. So the key competitor would be SIRDC, but I have gotten to realize they do not know the type of variety they are offering on the orange sweet potatoes. And Harvest Plus and FAO are looking for these tissue culture orange sweet potato vines, and I have a great tasting one which is not available yet on the market.
So talking about your competition, I know in Zim, at least while I was living here, when you buy a sweet potato vine, you plant it, it cut it next season, you take from the same plant. Will people be able to do that with yours, or do they have to come back consistently to get supply from you?
My particular vines, normally with the ones people cut off and use the following season and continuously do that, they have a low vigor and they're low yielding, and they can have up to 70% loss as compared to the tissue culture vines. So these ones can be used up to 2 to 3 years, according to research that has been done by my lecturer at school, who also promoted such a movement a couple of years back.
He is hoping Tendai's pitch was strong enough to convince the panel of her idea, but there's more needed to attract investment than an idea.
What we've seen so far in terms of investable companies and problems, a lot of these things connect back to you need audited reports, you need to have your financials in order, the valuation of the company is vital. I've met a lot of companies that said, my company is worth $1.5 million. Okay, but what do you do? Well, nothing yet, but I have an idea. And that's, of course, that's not going to fly.
The next pitch is from Jennifer Meyer of Hatano Foods. They have developed a nutritious breakfast cereal that incorporates local crops such as millets, sorghum, and nuts, and hopes to empower small farmers as suppliers. Will our panel be awake to her product offerings?
Earlier this year, the SADC Secretariat reported that stunting affects 1 in 3 children in 10 of its member states. At Hatano Foods, our line of snacks, breakfast cereals, and porridges addresses these twin problems. We make all of our products from 100% Zimbabwean-grown ingredients, sourced from over 300 smallholders and wild harvesters across the country, and provide high-quality, nutritious food to Zimbabwe's consumers. Today, I'm here to talk about our newest product, Mighty Meal Instant Porridge. The school feeding and early childhood feeding market in Zimbabwe for porridge is estimated at about 1,200 metric tons per year. Our nearest competitor is the South African import product that has a per serving cost of 50 cents per child. Mighty Meal's per serving cost is 9 cents per child. We're seeking an initial investment of $196,000 to produce, package, and market 100 metric tons of the bulk feeding porridge for Mighty Meal.
Thanks, Jennifer. Schools constitute a significant part of your target market, right? And that is an area where in the past the donor community has played a significant part in providing food supplements and stuff like that. How is that likely to sit with your business model? Is there no potential disruption?
So we have 2 channels for the porridge. One is the bulk porridge product that I just spent most of my time talking about today and articulating the market around that. And you're very correct. About 900 metric tons of porridge market is sort of distributed through charitable organizations and school feeding programs and the like each year here in Zim. And then another about 300 metric tons is done through commercial channels, also to school and childhood feeding programs and elder feeding programs.
Thank you, Jennifer. I was wondering, I was reading through some of the ingredients, and if I understand you correctly, they're all from Zimbabwe, right? Correct. We're talking about climate smart and climate change and things like that. Do you have a plan B if some of these crops, due to climate change, actually are not deliverable? Because I think, as far as I understand so far, you only have contacts in Zim.
Correct. So this is one of our biggest sort of focuses in terms of supply chain, because as everybody can sort of realize, at a certain point, rainfall is just inadequate to grow anything, right? Whether it's maize or small grains or whatever. So that is a limiting factor, but that's a limiting factor for every agricultural system. For us, what we're looking at is the fact that these small grains do produce much better in much more limited rainfall seasons and with interrupted rainfall patterns. So we're already sort of ahead of the game when it comes to our competitors that rely on maize and soy and wheat and the like. However, we realize and are actively sort of engaging on multiple ways to ensure adequate supply, not just volume, but quality. So we're not putting all of our eggs in any one basket in order to address the question that you raise. So at the moment, we source a lot from our contract manufacturers because they have much better reach and aggregation potential and power across Zimbabwe. So they can actually aggregate and get greater volumes at the quality that we require from all over the country.
So will Jennifer be enjoying a healthy breakfast at the SA Innovation Summit? Let's get some insight into growing your business.
Business, again, is not a one-day journey, right? It's a journey of many steps, right? When you've decided you want to go through with it, there are going to be setbacks along the way, right? You don't stop because of that. You just continue pushing and pushing and pushing until it all begins to make sense, right?
The next to pitch is Nyarai Kureb Khaseka, owner of Qasr Natural Oils, one of Zimbabwe's biggest producers and suppliers of essential oils.
Qasr Natural Oils is a specialist producer of cosmetic and pharmaceutical ingredients. We want to be able to address the needs of the market by offering a range of cosmetic and pharmaceutical ingredients that are safe, efficacious, indigenous, as well as wild and sustainably harvested. We have a range of products that include vegetable oils, which include baobab, marula, Kalahari melon, and mongongo oils. We also have plant extracts from the Kigelia, Devil's Claw, and Resurrection. We also have essential oils from Tajitis or the Marigold. Liz Earle, L'Oreal, Clarins, amongst others, have also gone green. They have started investing millions of dollars into ethically sourced ingredients through the various community-traded brands. This is the niche market that we at Qasr want to focus on. We are asking for $200,000 to be able to invest into new product development, new market development, as well as supply chain development.
So just developing on that, the 200,000 that you're looking for, is that in the form of equity or is that some other instruments? And if it's equity, how much is it offer?
We are looking for a loan that we can pay over a period of 5 years at 20% interest.
Okay, so how much did you make last year, and do you have any contracts that you would like to fulfill with this 200,000 that you're asking for?
Last year we made 131,000, and by the end of this year we are projecting that we would have made 250. In the next 5 years we project that we will be at about 1.5 million. By 2021, actually, we would have reached 1.5 million. For the 200,000 that we are asking for, we want to use this money for new product development. We want to develop products for the regional market. Our focus has mostly been on export, and we're exporting beyond the region. So we now want to develop some finished products for the regional market. So a lot of that money will go into new product development, R&D, and some market tests. And then we also want to spend some of it on supply chain development. Once we start going into new markets, we are going to need new suppliers.
All right. So you mentioned 12 ingredients being the USP. So I wondered, you could also have 38 ingredients, but if none are attractive for the buyers, then it's not really. Are all of them in high demand, or are some of them a little bit higher in demand than the others? Because you say you're also competing with others that sell 1 or 2 ingredients.
Some are in higher demand than others, and also from the company's side, there are some that we are producing at a much higher level than others. But we want to be able to introduce more species apart from the 12, so we may get to the 30.
Let's hope the panel found Nyarai's pitch motivational and worthy of investment, and give her the confidence to grow her business.
We've got the community, and then we've got the experts that are speaking to customers and assuring them of exactly what the kind of the things that the industry we are trading in requires. So issues of sustainability, issues of quality, and further product development. This is exactly what our markets like to hear. So I think the people are the most important thing.
Meet Maureen Vere of Verega. who has introduced Nutri-Pea sausages to the market. Made from indigenous, nutrient-dense cowpeas, the sausage is a tasty vegetarian replacement for regular meat sausages.
A quarter of Zimbabwe's population is vegetarian, yet there are no locally produced vegetarian sausages. The ones available on the market are all imported and out of reach for this group. To solve the problem, Vega decided to produce a vegetarian sausage and patty burger using a nutrient-dense cowpea that is widely grown in Zimbabwe. Our market is vast and diversified, plus or minus 3 million. Our customers are vegetarians, but also include the health-conscious citizenry, religious groups, those who are malnourished, those who are seeking the dietary diversification, and the low-income earners. The sales are done through distribution to high-end retailers, Bon Marché, Spar, and Pick n Pay. We also do the niche market, which is mainly fruit and veg. We also do bulk sales to boarding schools and hotels. We are looking for 100,000 to upscale production, and it's split as follows. 7,500 is for all IP processes and certifications, and we also need 10,000 for additional equipment, 20,000 for specialist services, 50,000 production, 12,000 is for market expansion. Thank you.
Are you going to give me shares in your company? How many are you going to give me for that?
For 100,000, probably between 20 shares and 30 out of 100.
So what's the value of your company?
So far, we can say it's 300, including the IPs and goodwill.
You are running an outgrower scheme, and you expect to expand your production to about 100 tons through that scheme.
Yes.
How do you plan to fund that scheme?
Now we got a different, like we also have a social side and a community-based organization, because we are also community-based. We have like a fund that we've applied from some of the embassies.
And to how big is that fund going to be?
So far we have 40,000, but it's going to be released in tranches. So this year we had decided that we per grower, we set aside $1,000, because now that they've already mentioned the rainfall pattern, that there's El Nino, so we set aside 1,000 to say if they need irrigation, we have put a provision for that.
It sounds to me that you may just want to have a relook at that and partner with people that have deeper pockets so that you can sustain adequate agronomical activities in that space.
You mentioned that you were the main investor.
Yes.
What does that mean? Does it mean in kind, like in time and activities, or also financial?
From everything, inception, idea, getting the company registered, thinking of the issue of companies, are we a limited, private limited, are we going to be a big enterprise, all that, both in time and monetary.
All the pitches have been presented, and after intense discussion and debate, the panel have made their decision in selecting the 4 finalists to present their pitches at the SA Innovation Summit. our next episode as the search for innovative African solutions continues.